UFC 300 right around the corner. Let's go out to the southern Nevada desert where we find ESPN MMA reporter Brett Okamoto. Brett, help me out with this. Main event, light heavyweight strap is on the line. Alex Pereira is white hot right now. 6 wins in his last 7 fights, and he's one of the most popular fighters on the roster, yet he's only a minus 130 favorite against the fighter in Jamahal, who just had surgery on his Achilles back in July. What am I missing here?
Joe, I don't know. I don't know. I thought that this line was going to be much higher as well. I think, I spoke to Eric Nickal, who has done some work with Jamahal. He's a coach here in Las Vegas, and he says, and Eric Nickal is a very, very honest guy. If he tells me that Jamahal is 100% and he's moving like he used to, then I absolutely believe him. But even at 100% Jamahal, I think he struggles stylistically in this. And like you mentioned, Alex Pereira is just so on point right now in his recent fights. The one thing I will say is that I have kind of overlooked Jamahal in the past. I think that Vegas likes this guy a lot. He always seems to be an inflated value to me, and I'm just like, man, his progression through the sport has been so quick. Does he really deserve to be this big of a favorite or this small of an underdog? And he has looked great in so many fights. That's why he was a former champion. So I can't tell you why Alex Pereira is only minus 130, but I have been wrong, and I have overlooked Jamahal previously.
Well, I mean, let's be honest here, right? If this was a mistake of a line, the Sharps would have pounded it, and they have not pounded it. So there's got to be something to it with the way the bookmakers see it. All right, Max Holloway moving from 145 pounds to 155 pounds to fight for the BMF title against Justin Gaethje. Holloway dishes out a lot of punishment. He also takes a lot of punishment. When it comes to the weight gain for Holloway, how's he looking right now?
Physically, he looks great, Joe. I mean, he did come up from 145 pounds to 155 pounds about 5 years ago, and he said that his manager during this camp would just use the term muffin top, and that would get Max to want to work out harder, because he feels like when he moved up in weight, he didn't really put on muscle, he just didn't cut weight, and so he looked a little soft in there when he fought Dustin Poirier at 155 pounds years ago. This time, he's coming up again, and he is absolutely ready for it. He has done a lot of extensive weight training for this one, and he just looks physically much better. But the problem is, like you said, he does get hit a lot, and so you got to wonder if his defense is going to be a little bit better at 155, or these guys crack a little bit harder than 145.
Plus 150, and given how many great fights he's put on, it's not going to be a surprise to see if some of the public gets involved with the dog in that one. Let's stay in the lightweight division. Possible gatekeeper fight. Charles Oliveira, a sizable plus 190 dog against Arman Tsarukyan. DuBronx is taking some money this week, but I know some sharp guys out there in the desert that love the favorite here. How much will that 7-year age gap help Tsarukyan on Saturday?
I think it could help out quite a bit. Charles has had a long career. He's not... he's still got plenty of time, I believe. He's not an old fighter by any means, but he is definitely older than Tsarukyan. Tsarukyan fights young, man. He's just very, very strong. He's very, very confident right now. On the verge of cocky, I would even say, Joe, but in a good way. I think this guy just really, really believes in his skills, believes in his power. And on top of the age, it's just a tough stylistic matchup for the same reason that Charles Oliveira was an underdog to Islam Makhachev. I mean, Arman Tsarukyan is a big, strong, physical grappler, and he's got the power to go with it on the feet, as we saw in his last fight against Beneil Dariush. So I don't like to doubt Charles Oliveira. He's made a fool out of a lot of people who have doubted him in the past, but this is going to be an uphill battle for him.
I mean, we've seen him in the past get dropped in the first, and then he just finds a way to get the job done. Bo Nickal, Cody Brundage, and the curtain jerker on the main card. This is Nickal's 3rd fight in the UFC, and if the line holds, he'll have closed minus 1,300 or greater in each fight. Now, laying minus 1,300 isn't all that appealing, so we might need to look for some alternatives here. You're leaning to a knockout, submission, decision victory if Nickal gets it done.
I am leaning towards a knockout in this one, and it's because Cody Brundage is definitely by far the best wrestler that Bo Nickal has fought. Now, he will still not be anywhere near as good of a wrestler as Bo Nickal is, because he's one of the greatest college wrestlers that we've ever seen. But at least he did compete in wrestling in college. Cody Brundage had a lot of time on the wrestling mats, whereas some of Bo Nickal's previous opponents, they just didn't have any background when it came to the wrestling. So I do believe that this one, 2 guys who can grapple. You might see a little bit of stand-up. And Bo Nickal, man, he's just such a great athlete. I believe that his stand-up is going to get better and better every time we see him. I would go with a knockout on this one.
Outstanding insights as always, Mr. Okamoto. We appreciate the time. Stay hydrated out there in the desert, please.
Absolutely, man. We'll see you out here soon. Yeah, we'll see you at UFC 300.
Oh, you'll feel it when the plane lands.
I know I will. We'll see you soon.